What's going on, people, and welcome to Man Knows Football. You are here with Guni for a Premier League preview between Chelsea and Southampton at Stamford Bridge this weekend. And the main question is can Chelsea get back to winning ways after back-to-back 1-0 defeats? It has been a difficult little period for Chelsea fans, but can we forget about those memories and get back on track with a win and hopefully a clean sheet on our way to a Premier League title this year? Let me know down there in the comments. Also, make sure you do like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff as well. And I've got one more favour to ask of you. We've done a two-part video. The first part was defence wins titles. That's myself and Matisse. And the second part is attack wins games. That's myself, Matisse, and Younes talks football. If you haven't seen those videos, make sure you do check those out. I will leave the links inside the video so you can click straight onto those after this video. And also, big up Younes. He's just reached 90,000 subscribers, man. He's one of my favourite content creators, has been for years, so big up yourself. If there's anybody that deserves it, it is definitely Younes. Now, let's get into the main content, which is Chelsea versus Southampton. And Chelsea have won 7 and lost 1 of their past 11 Premier League encounters with Southampton. That is a very, very promising record. Southampton, who have yet to register a single Premier League win, are coming to the bridge looking for their first. But nonetheless, though, they have got some very, very impressive results. 2 of them coming from both Manchester clubs, and we know very well about one of them this season, who have just come to Stamford Bridge and got a result against us. Poor performance. We cannot see that again against Southampton. But we know how Ralph Hudson-Odoi plays. He does like to press intensely from the top, so he does use his midfielders and the attackers to box our defence in. And we have to be very cautious because we do like to play from the back, and we can be quite slow on the back, and that might be an advantage for Southampton. I apologise about the noise outside. Manhattan is a crazy place. But we have to start off better. This starting off slow, this playing slow from the back and all that, that's playing right into their hands. We can't be doing that. And this is an opportunity for us to start getting goals back into our game, because I do think Ralph Hudson-Odoi is not going to set up to be sitting down for sitting back for 90 minutes. I do not think so. I do think at periods in the game he will play the high line when he does smell the danger to attack. We will be able to hit them on the counter as well, and we will be able to use players like Timo Werner, who might be able to get in behind, create opportunities for Lukaku, who is not going to be playing in front of the defensive team. You get me? That's when I feel it's right to use Timo Werner, and I hope I do see him this game. Also, in terms of our wing-back personnel, we've got to get those right. I do believe Marcus Alonso and Azpilicueta need to sit on the bench for this game, and we should see Callum Hudson-Odoi and Ben Chilwell on the other side, because as we do know, Southampton have very, very dangerous wide men, and one of them we do know very well, their right wing-back being Livramento. Yes, Livramento, very, very talented youngster, and has come up against elite opposition this season and has fared very well against them. So he is absolutely no mug. And going up top as well, attacking, he is just as dangerous. So we've got to be very careful there. We cannot afford to be pinned back this game because they have a lot of threats on that wing. You get me? And on the other side is that man Gineppo as well. Another one that's a very, very tricky customer. So we got to be on point. Ben Chilwell needs to be playing there because we cannot afford to be pinned back. We need to be putting the attack on Southampton. We need to be providing those extra options out wide. You get me? Supporting the midfield, giving Lukaku more opportunities in the box to put away. Yeah, and I don't understand this Bulingoli agenda, man. Some of you are saying, "Oh, Lukaku's the wrong signing. His crap is this, is that." Nonsense, bruv. Ain't his fault in it. He's not getting the opportunities, fam. If you're not feeding the striker nothing, there's no dinner on the plate to eat, blood. The principle is very simple. Not everything striker, fam. You get me? Give him the opportunities, he will put them away. And saying that, we have to be... Oh my God, I don't want to see any useless possession. I don't want to see side to side, back and forth, back to side, and no potency. We need potency in this game. We need to look from the jump when we're going forward that we're looking to attack their goal. We're looking threatening, you get me? We need to get goals this game because Southampton, if we leave it 0-0 for too long, they will sniff danger. You get me? And they're not scared to go forward, and they've got the quality to hurt us. So we can't have that, yeah? We've got to see some opportunities from other faces because, listen, against Juve, after CHESOU scored that goal, Tuchel made 5 changes. 5 changes. And they were the Englishmen, the English boys, you get me? Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Callum Hudson-Odoi, and Ben Chilwell, those three in particular created the most opportunities for Chelsea at all points in that game. So I think they do deserve a chance, especially Loftus-Cheek. Now, I was having a conversation with my pals, right? And a couple of them are saying, oh, Loftus-Cheek, we should trust him in the pivot, or we should have a midfield three to support. I have two midfielders to support him, so 3-5-2. I'd like to know what you lot will think about that. Do you think that Ruben should play in the midfield three, or do you trust him to play in the pivot? Let me know down there in the comments. Some interesting facts also is in the last 5 games, Chelsea haven't scored in the first 45 minutes, and Southampton are yet to concede in the first 45 minutes of any game that they've played this season. But we do have a man who's got a very, very good record against Southampton and who will put that record to the test. That is Mr. Bolingoli. And trust me, I do believe he will get that early first half goal to break their record. You get me? But we are going to get into the game and what I would like to see in the lineup. I'm going to go with something a little different. Obviously, I've given you a clues I've basically told you what my lineup is without telling you. So the lineup I'd like to see going into this game with obviously big man Mendy in goal. My left wing back will be Ben Chilwell. My centre back three would be Rudiger, Christensen and Thiago Silva, the usual trio. The right wing back would be Callum Hudson-Odoi. I would have the midfield pivot of Loftus-Cheek and Jorginho. I was tempted to put Kovacic in there. Now, do you know what? I'm going to go with Kovacic. I'm going to say Kovacic and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And the front three of Timo Werner, Romelu Lukaku, and I'm going to give Kai Havertz another chance there. Kai Havertz. That's the front three that I want to see against Southampton. Why do I want to start Timo Werner this game? Because this game is going to be... I can see opportunities from this game because, like I said, Hudson-Odoi isn't just going to sit back for 90 minutes. He's going to want to attack. He's going to push the line high a little bit. And we do know Timo Werner, where there's opportunities to get in behind, he's very, very good at doing so. And now I'm going to want to see that link up between him and Lukaku. And I think we're going to see less of Lukaku playing with his back to goal and more with him facing goal, and that's the most potent Lukaku we can have. So that's why I would like to see Timo Werner to bring that dimension, to stretch that defence and create spaces over there. You get me? And perhaps pin back their fullbacks. You understand? Kai Havertz as well. There'll be space for Kai Havertz. I think it needs to be a lot less rigid, and a lot more fluid. I think there needs to be a little bit more interchanging between the three. You get me? So just move their defenders out of position. Also, that bridging between that midfield and that attack, we can't allow that to happen. Hence why I think Ruben Loftus-Cheek is going to be key this season. If he's the only one that's going to be doing that, he's the only one that seems to be wanting to pick up the ball from deep and making them drives forward. You get me? And linking up that play. So that's why I want Loftus-Cheek in there. But he's going to have to be disciplined defensively. Our defence, I've got no worries about our defence. We've been brilliant, except that obviously we had that little bit of lack of concentration against Juventus. But you get me, every dog has its day, and I'm just gonna chalk that as to one moment as a lapse of concentration. We move on. You get me? Southampton, we do know that they've got quite a few threats. One we know in particular, Tino Livramento. Thomas Tuchel did have a few things to say about him in the press conference. He said that they did try and offer him an opportunity into a pathway into the Chelsea first team, but he didn't want to compete with Reece James and Azpilicueta, and he felt that he wanted to play more frequent football. Fair play to the kid. There is a buyback clause in his contract, so if he does do well, I do think we will be seeing him back at the club, and I'd be very excited to see him because he has been brilliant this season. But he will be our opponent this weekend, so we do have to watch him. He can make very dangerous runs going forward, very good with the ball at his feet, can beat a man as well, and he's good defensively as well. He has played against the best of them, and he's not looked out of place. Manchester United, Manchester City, he dealt with those challenges perfectly, and I think he might have a good game against us as well. He does have that quality, but we do have to nullify that. As long as we keep them pinned back in their own half and make use of the possession and not have pointless possession, I think we can nullify that threat. And also Gineppo as well, same way. Although I do think he's not as good defensively as Tino Livramento or as decisive in the final third, he still is a very tricky threat. Very good with his feet, can beat players as well. So don't get it twisted. Then you know the man Ward-Prowse. We've got to be very, very careful with set pieces here, because that's a set piece specialist, that man. Yeah, where he wants to put that ball, he will put it. So we've got to be very careful about where we're going to be giving away set pieces with him around. Obviously, Nathan Redmond, another danger there as well. And one that, thank God, he's not going to be available for the game because he is on loan from the mighty Chelsea, Armando Broja. Yes, it's pronounced Broja. I had somebody actually tell me in the comments in the last video it is pronounced Broja. So, yeah, man, in Albania, the J is pronounced as a Y, so big up Broja, you get me? And Armstrong will be an unlucky feature, but nonetheless, there are a couple of other threats that I did mention, not to mention Shea Adams and one or two others, you get me? So, Southampton are absolutely no mugs. They're no mugs, but they can get got at, you get me? But we just cannot be wasteful in the final third. We need to be able to be finding our striker, and I believe that's the lineup that is going to create the most opportunities for us. And if you think that Loftus-Cheek should be featured a lot more in the lineup this season, let me know down there in the comments. Tuchel was also asked about Mason Mount, and the reason why I didn't put Mason in the lineup is because, again, I'm not too sure about what's going on with his fitness. Maybe he's going to feature at some point in the game. It would be very positive if he could. I wouldn't mind seeing that, but that's why I was a bit cautious about starting him, and I also feel that Timo deserves a chance for a game like this. But when he was asked about Mason Mount, he said something again. This man knows how to speak. He's very clever. Like, he said, we need to be careful, like, singling out players. Like, we can't reduce our performances by looking at players that are missing. We can't keep doing that. We need, so basically what he's saying is that the players that deputize need to come in and fill in that quality or offer a different kind of quality that's going to impact positively in the game. So Tuchel is making a call out there, like, don't only just be relying on individual brilliance or individual talent. It's a team thing, it's a system thing, it's a deep squad. We need to utilize this squad, and if we're going to utilize this squad, everybody needs to be on top. Their qualities need to shine. They all need to contribute into this machine to make it work, to go for anything. Okay, so that's the message that I think that he got from it. So a couple of injuries going into the game. Obviously, Christian Pulisic is still out. Christian Pulisic has been a topic of interesting conversation, actually. If you want to hear my thoughts on Pulisic, please go back and watch the Attack Wins games. I've given an honest opinion on Pulisic. Quality player, but go back and watch the video, please. Reece James will be out. Mason Mount, I think he'll be on the bench, but whether he'll be starting, I don't think so. Kante is still out with Corona. And yeah, I've got a positive vibe about this weekend against Southampton. They are absolutely no mugs, but I do believe that they're not going to sit back. They will try and attack us. I think we're going to be able to contain them. I'm not saying this to disrespect them, but I do think our defence will be too much for them. And I think they will be leaving opportunities for us to go forward. They will be leaving spaces for us to utilise. They'll be giving us opportunities to get in behind. We just have to be clinical. Whether Timo Werner's starting up there, his touch has got to be on point. His finishing has got to be on point, and he's got to be able to find Lukaku. Same thing with Kai Havertz. The balls in the final third have got to be on point. The finishing's got to be on point. You get me? Give Lukaku that service. We've seen what he can do. Give him an opportunity. He's dangerous. You get me? He's dangerous. He's got a very, very good conversion rate in his career. I think his conversion rate is like 1 in 2, so you got to check that out. Big up Monster. I got that one from Monster there, so you got to definitely check that one out. But yeah, I am positive about the game going into this weekend. I think we are going to win this game. My favourite scoreline this year has been 2-0, so I'm going to say we're going to come away with the clean sheet again, and we're going to leave with 3 points and get back onto winning ways. You get me? So thank you very much for joining me on this video. The links to the videos will be here at the end of the video, so thank you for staying, and make sure you do check those out. Also, before you leave, make sure you leave your thoughts down there in the comment. Like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you get me, make sure you are safe, and up the Chelsea. Bless.